Rob, after 2 tough weeks on the road. Nice to come home and get a win like that.
Yeah, and I kind of hope that kind of shows everybody about what we were talking about last week. You know, it's not about that you lose a game that you'd like to win and everything's fallen apart and everything's gone wrong. You know, the Premiership's not like that. You know, there are tough fixtures every week. You have to prepare very well. You have to be good for 80 minutes out on the pitch. You have to be very competitive. Sometimes you'll come away with it, and sometimes you won't. But the key is to really keep going for it. You know, we were disappointed with last week, but again, you know, as I said, you know, you should only really get out of a game what you really deserve. Did we really play to our potential last week and so deserve a win? Well, probably not. Did we play close to our potential today? Well, it's obvious we were a lot better. We stuck very well to a tough game plan, and we've come through. You know, and that's kind of what the Premiership's about. You know, there was no panic last week, and today kind of shows why. You know, it's about sticking to what you know you're doing well, keep working hard, and the next game can sometimes bring something different.
It was attritional at times out there, and you had to dig deep, especially that sort of last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, but we challenged the team. You know, the team they challenged themselves, and we challenged them a little bit about, you know, what did we want to be seen like out on the pitch today? Did we want to be seen like a team that were going to fight for everything? You know, chase everything, bounce off the floor, be prepared to put in sets of defence. You know, stand in front of opposition packs of forwards and win a driving contest. And we were so much better in that today. That's all we did. We just focused on the basics about what we're about as a team this week. That's all we did. That's all you need to do. And as I said, you know, the guys took it all on board, and great credit to them. They kind of got what they deserved out of the game.
Did Saracens throw at you everything you expected of them?
Well, I mean, we know they're a good side, and we know they're going to keep coming. And the reality was, in that last few minutes, you know, they were coming at us strong. We probably blew a pretty gilt-edged try-scoring opportunity early in the game when some great intensity kind of got us within inches of the line, and we made an error. And I kind of thought, I don't think you can do that against Saracens, a little bit. But you know, we stuck at it, and by sticking at it and kind of not panicking and not going away from what we knew would ultimately be the best way for us to go, we've kind of come through. And I think, you know, the way we forced Sorelli's try, the pressure we created, and then the way we put in some spells of defence, kind of shows that we got most things right today.
You talk about learning all the time. You can see that the team are learning, even now in this 3rd season.
Yeah, well, they're learning, but we're learning as a management group as well. You know, there's huge parts of what go right and what go wrong aren't just down to the players. You know, that we have to take our responsibility as a management group and see what we can do better. Players have to keep working and doing what they can do better, and the club as a whole has to do it. You know, we're all in it together, and you've just got to keep getting the next little thing, the next little edge, the next little thing we can do better. And there's still lots of little things that we can keep working at that will just add up to us a bit better every Saturday. But as I say, the players are taking it on board. We're all working very hard. So we're learning as we go along. Big thing we learnt, I learned 2 years ago, was not to overreact to defeats that some people think shouldn't happen. You know, I kind of, to be fair, it was Saracens. You know, you look how Saracens reacted when we beat them at their place a couple of years ago. They just took it on the chin, said, "Oh, well done, actually, you've done well today." And what did they do? They rolled on and ended up winning the Premiership. Other teams, when we beat them in that first year, they couldn't understand what had gone wrong, and it hurt them. And I was, you know, we were determined we were never going to let last week hurt us, because ultimately it was just one game, you know, along a long old journey. And this week was about today. It wasn't about last week, and we dealt with it really well. We prepared really well for today. Didn't dwell on last week. Got it out of the way. And as I said, you know, you can see what can happen if you just get back on the bike and get on with things.
And it sets you up nicely for a trip to Welford Road next week.
Yeah, and like I said to the guys, you know, fantastic opportunity for us, great set of fixtures. You know, there'll be a load of people looking at it going, "Oh, that's an incredibly tough set of fixtures." I just said to the guys, but you know, it's a set of fixtures you might never get another opportunity to play in your life. Imagine you come through that with great credit and you've played really well and you've been in the thick of it. You know, that's a fantastic opportunity for you, and it all starts with going to Welford Road next week. We've got to get in the thick of the game. We've got a relatively short turnaround, so we'll have a couple of good training sessions. We'll get up to Welford Road, and I'll just say to the guys, let's get out there and get in the thick of it, and let's take what comes. We'll put in a good performance, and we can enjoy ourselves afterwards.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rob.